This will be more confusing. To big or not too big? Is that a question? I don't know what a question is. I can go to school. Anybody? Help me out here. I got a question for you. What are you teaching the world? How to be boring? How to make the world sad? No! No, you're not. You're teaching the world what it looks like to be awesome. No matter who you are, somebody's learning from you. Everybody's a teacher and everybody's a student. Look for your awesome. Teachers see things. They see when you're running down the hall. They see when you're passing notes. But they also see the person that we can all become someday. A writer or a speaker or Martin Luther King. Teachers, keep teaching. Students, keep studying. That's not a word. Sorry about that. Here's the teachers that see the awesome. The homework is this. What do you want to teach the world? Do it. Let's make some history together. Because it's simple math. Together, we're better. Is that teacher inspired you? Let them know. This is for teachers everywhere. So share it with them. You guys are doing awesome. Somebody's learning from you. I'm out. I'm gone.
He is funny. So I want you to turn around and talk to someone near you, and I want you to tell them one thing that you thought that you could do that he does. What is it that you saw a kid president do or say that you thought, I like that idea? Go. You have 1 minute. You can turn around and talk to someone here if you want. Or me. What did you like?
When he did a cartwheel.
Oh, can you do a cartwheel? Because I'm not good at that. Oh, that's awesome. No. There's no space. I know. Okay, breathe. Nice. Ooh, let me see who is ready. I can tell by your body language if you're ready. So tell me one thing that either you thought that you liked that Kid President said, or something that your partner said that they liked. Okay? Right here. How what? How people are reading. What does reading help you do? Learn new words and learn about, what did he say? History. Okay. What else did you hear him say that you thought that was pretty cool and you might want to do too? Okay. What?
Well, he just likes what that kid said about Justin Timberlake. That's what.
Yeah, because we all know who that is, right? Justin Timberlake. You know who Justin Bieber is, right?
Yeah,
Some of us know that.
I like him.
Yeah, we all have our own thoughts about that, right? All right, so Kid President has his thoughts about learning and what school is. If you have something in your hands, I want you to put it up, pencils up, notebooks closed, hands in your lap. Okay, nice. So I heard from your teacher that you guys are going to start talking about this and that you've even applied for some jobs in your classroom. I heard that. And what I want to tell you is, have any of you ever heard the terms driving question? No. Okay. Show me if you were showing somebody what it looks like to drive, what would you do right now? Would you show? Exactly. When you're driving something, it takes you where you are going. So your driving question that we're about to talk about now for your unit, it's going to take us where we're going. All right? So I want you to look for just a minute. How can we make a positive difference in our classroom community? I want y'all to read that with me because I'm about to ask some experts in this room what this means. Ready? How can we make a positive difference in our classroom community? Now, I want to know what that means, because if this is a question I'm supposed to answer, I have to know what it's really asking me, right? And I'm reading this and say, how can we make a positive difference? So the first word I come to that I go, is positive. I want to know, what do you think is meant by the word positive, making a positive difference? What does positive really mean? Ooh, so you're saying positive can be doing something good. Okay, that's excellent. What else do you think positive might mean? Yes, sir?
Thinking you could do it and then you really could do it.
What do we call that? You thinking positively? That's like growth mindset, where you have to believe in yourself and then you achieve it. So believe and do. That's positive. What else does it mean when you say do something positive? Right here. What do you think it means when I say we want to do something positive? What does the word positive represent, or what do you think it stands for? You think, and I'm going to come back to you, okay? Be a thinker. Yes, ma'am. Okay, but what does it mean to be positive? Are you really positive? What? Okay, so being positive is about you doing things that are what? Good, and they're right. Even when nobody is. Sometimes being positive is doing the right thing. Are positive things sad? No. What are they? Happy. They might make you happy. They might make other people happy. They might make people smile. Okay?
Your teacher's happy.
Yeah. Or your friends, right? So let's look at this. How can we make a positive, that means doing something that makes someone happy and something that's right, a positive difference? What does it mean to make a difference? What does that mean? Did you think of something? Yeah. Either way. Do you think of something for this one? Okay. Your hand was up. I was wondering. Okay. Okay. What is it? Okay, so it's doing the right thing, like we said, even when it's a situation where maybe you shouldn't have done something, you're working with someone. But what does it mean, making a positive or happy or a good difference? What does it mean to make a difference? What does that mean? Did you think of what you were going to say?
For difference?
Either one, whichever one.
Like for instance, if they had crackers and popcorn for lunch, I will put mine in popcorn, right? And then if I didn't want popcorn, I will put it in. What did I just say?
Like put it in your snack to eat for later?
Mm-hmm.
So that means you're making a choice on things that are different. When you make a difference, you also are making a choice. If I said, this morning I got up and I was in the worst mood, I stumped my toe when I got out of the bed, and I went to brush my teeth, and I accidentally picked up lotion and put it on my toothbrush and started, I need to start over, because getting up with a positive attitude makes all the difference. So what does it mean to make a difference? Okay, you change it. So if you're going to make a positive difference, that means you're going to make a change. A change. That's exactly right. You can change and make a difference either in a bad way or a good way, right? Everybody sitting in this room, every one of you has the power to make a difference, but it's up to you if it's going to be a positive difference or a negative difference. So this question is asking us about positive, right? So how can we make a positive change in our classroom community? Which one of the words in the rest of the sentence do you think, I don't really know what that is, or I think I know what that is? Which one of those words? You know what your classroom is? Right here. This is all your classroom, all the people in it, all the things in it, all the visitors that come. But what does community mean? What is a community? Oh, we got hands going up. Yes. Like a job? There are people with jobs in our community. Yes.
Like, it's like a job right next to your house or near your house.
Oh, I like that part. She said it can be a job, but it's near your house.
Or property.
That would be your community that you live in, right? All right. What about right here? What are you thinking? Atlanta? It is a community. It is a big community, but it's a community. All right?
A couple of people in the complex is a community.
People in your complex are people that live in your community at home, right? What else?
A group of people living, sharing the same space.
Stop it. I think that requires a dojo point. I'm just saying. So, repeat that for me. A group
Of people that share the same space.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. A group of people that share the same space. So if we are a classroom community, we are a classroom of people that share the same space. So it is too easy. I know. So let's think about it all together. Because this question first asked us, how can we make a positive difference in our classroom community? And we looked at the question and pulled it apart and said, now I think it means, how can we make a happy, good change in our classroom group of people that share the same space?
That ain't sense.
That's long, isn't it?
Yes, and it's just a bunch of words that stuck together.
It is. But some of these are your words. Because I wanted you guys to see that you are going to have this question that you have to answer, but you have to know what it means. How many of you you've read something and you're like, I don't even know what that means right now. I can't. Look at the adults. We're all like, yes. How many of you have gotten to, adults, how many of you have gotten to go vote on an amendment, but you didn't read the stuff ahead of time, and you had to read it like 7 times and pull it apart in your head like this? You will one day. Trust me, you will. So now that we know what it's asking us, it's saying, what can you do to make a positive impact in this room? What can you do? What can you do? What can you do, Miss Spinks? What can you do, Miss Davis? What can I do? What can anybody that's in this space, even if it's for a few minutes or all day, every day, what can you do? So I have a question for you now. If I have to answer this, what do I need to know? What do I need to know to answer that question? This is a thinking moment. This is not easy. If I want to make good changes in our classroom, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? Okay, those are the things I'm going to learn, but if I want to make changes, what do I need to know?
The definition first
Of what?
of what it means?
Of what means?
The sentence that you're trying to answer.
We did that. We did that. So now we know we're making positive changes, but you're kind of on the right track because you're like, what exactly? What changes? Right? What are you even talking about, Miss Fowler? Like, what changes? So I'm going to put up here, what changes do we need? Okay, and we're not answering this right now. We're just going to ask more questions. So we need to know what changes need to be made. What else do we need to know? Yes, ma'am. Think about it. We have to make positive changes. So in my head, I have to know how to be what? Positive. How do I show ways to be positive? I don't know. We got to come up with that. How do I show ways to be positive? And Miss Fowler should have skipped a space between these, but I'm going to try to remember to do it here, okay? Because you guys are going to write on this later. What else? We need to know what changes we need to make, and what are some ways, or how do we show how to be positive? What else do we need to know?
We need to know how to read and stuff.
We need to know how to read. Why is that important to make a positive difference?
Because you need to make a positive difference. Because if things are bad, you need to change it another day.
Oh, so I hear a couple of things in there. I hear that we might need to think about our mindset every day. Okay, so how can we have a positive mindset each day? Because when you're in a classroom and you're trying to do something for this whole group of people, it's important to realize that everybody makes mistakes, right? And everybody deserves another chance. So let's think about that a minute. What else do we need to know? So we need to know our skills. We need to know all of our skills, our science, our reading. So how can we learn and use our knowledge and skills? Guess what? You're not just learning something to be able to say, hey, I learned so-and-so. Why are you learning things? To be able to do what? What are we doing with that? What are we doing with it? Woo, we got some brains thinking up in here. What are we doing with all this stuff? We're not just learning it. That's okay. That's okay. I like the way you're thinking. You're being brave and you're trying to think through it. What?
Because if we don't learn anything, we can't learn something to learn.
Okay, but not just college. Not just going to college. Why do we learn things? Why do we learn things? Besides just to learn them. Because what's the value of that if we don't what?
Get a good education.
Why?
Because we needed to get a job in a family.
Ooh, I heard something about a job and a family. But how does that have to do with making a positive difference? Are we like a family in here?
Yes.
Yes. So if I hear you correctly, would you get my chart paper for me? He said, how can we act like family? I heard that about family and jobs, and I mean, he's a thinker. So far, listen to what you have. You have, what changes do we need in our classroom right here, this space where all of us share together? How do I show ways to be positive? How can we have a positive mindset each and every day? How can we learn and use our knowledge and skills? And how can we act like family? Okay? What else do we need to know? This is a hard question. It's a hard question. I heard that you guys actually did something the other day and you came up with like maybe some jobs and you applied for some jobs. Okay? Why would you need jobs in this classroom community to make a difference? Why would you need those jobs? Yes, sir. Oh, who else? Who else are you helping? And who else in this space right here? Your friends, okay? So, yeah. How can I use my job to make a positive difference? Have you ever met someone, I know you've been to the grocery store before, and you have been many times, and you're like, Mama, do we have to go to the grocery store? And she's like, do you want to eat? Okay. Yes, we're going to the grocery store. Have you ever had that conversation? I don't want to go to the store. We're going. Okay. You all have said that because I'm a mom and I know. And you go to the grocery store, and this is the cashier. Come here, I'm going to borrow you for a second. I'm going to borrow him. And he's at my cashier, and I'm over here cashiering and punching things and scanning. And I never look at him, and he's standing there waiting to pay, being very sweet. I'm working. I'm just in a bad mood. How many of you ever had someone that's kind of in a bad mood like that out in public? Yeah, it happens a lot. Okay? So then that's that person's job, but you can do your job and make what? A difference. You can make a good difference or a bad difference. So what if he walked back up? He's going over here, and he's walking back up, and he's like, and I said, well, good morning. How are you today? And he's like, grinning at me. I'm like, do you have any coupons? You know how they ask you all that kind of stuff. And I'm scanning his groceries, and I'm like, so what are you doing today? Are you got big plans? And I'm talking to him about that. Am I making a difference with my job? No?
Yes.
The first time, did I make a good or a bad difference?
Bad difference.
What about the second time?
The good difference.
A good difference. Thank you for being my person. All right. So you've got to think about how your job that you're going to get is going to make a good difference or a bad difference. How can that change in here? Do you guys work together a lot, Miss Davis? I have a question. Are you? Oh. So that means that you have to always agree with somebody, right? Do you always have to agree with everybody? No. But if you're going to make a change or a positive difference, you do have to show what? Love and respect to one another. So, what were you going to say, sweetie?
I was going to say
You were going to say what? Respect. Okay, I'm glad that we were all thinking on the same page. How can I show love and respect to my classroom community? Well, all right, now here's where you got to put your brains together. All right, I'm going to stop right there for a second. I want you to think about, where are we going to look to find out all this stuff? Where would we find out ideas about that? Turn around. I want you to talk to someone different than who you talked to before. Turn around and say, how are we going to find this out? Ask them, what are we going to do this?
Actually, you guys talked about the same.
What are we going to do? How are we going to, let me see if anybody has an idea. Let me see who needs a dojo point. Talk to your people. I'm listening. Talk to your people. You got a thought? Talk to your neighbor. Talk to your neighbor.
I will find this out.
How do we find it out? Where do we look? Huh? Who do we ask?
On everyone.
In here?
Yes.
You're asking them now. See what they say. How do you find this out? How do you know? Talk to your neighbor. Talk to your neighbor. He needs somebody to talk to. Excuse me. So, guys, I have a question. Okay, let's think about it one more time this way. Where can we look? Where can we look to find out the answers to some of our questions? Or who could we ask? Where could we look, or who could we ask to find out some of our questions? Yes?
We could look in a book.
Oh, we could look in a book. I'm going to put our resources over here. So you're saying
I'm looking in a book
you could search
or a dictionary.
books, maybe if you need to. What else could you look? Who could you talk to, or what could you look in or search for?
You can talk to your brain.
Well, we're doing that right now.
You can talk to
But I like how you're thinking. She said, "Talk to your brain." You know what that is called? It is.
That ain't funny.
It's called reflection, and it is through conversating. It is. Okay? Where else could we find something? Think about it. Where? I don't know what she's saying to you. Ooh. Oh, did you hear what she said?
She said to quiet.
She said it quiet, but guess what she said? She said you could use, as a resource, when you reflect, you could use journals to reflect and think about what you're doing. Yes. Oh, so that falls under your books, right? Who would I ask? Miss Binks, who would you ask if you wanted to find out more about how to be a good classroom community member?
I might talk to people, the adults around me.
Like, who would you talk to?
Talk to my teacher. Talk to parents.
Okay, Miss Spinks is talking. I want you to listen to her. She said, my parents would talk to me about it. My teacher would talk to me about it. Do you know what? I have a resource that I want to share with you, and I'm going to try to get her to come talk to you guys. But her name... Close. It's Peyton. Peyton is a student at a high school in our county, and she has done some really cool stuff with this right here. And I sent her an email this morning and told her about yours. She's not at this school, but she could Skype with us and talk to us about what she's done in her classroom to make a difference. Where else could we look? We said books. We said we could reflect when we talk to other people about it. We could ask our parents, the teacher, and I said I could possibly get Peyton to talk to you guys. But what else have we not thought of that's a huge resource that everybody can use? What? A teacher? Right there. We already got it.
Guys, I'm holding it up here.
What is it? What has he got? Not just the restroom rules, all of our rules, right?
Yes. Is It could be
So, can I borrow these a minute?
Yeah.
So, you guys have already talked about what your rules are. Can you have a positive classroom if you don't have rules and people are not doing what they're supposed to do? No, because you can't learn that way, right? So that's what we're about. That we're going to do that. So I'm going to let you. Hold on, Buzz. You guys are going to think of more questions as you think through this, and you're going to come up with more resources. And when I come back, or Miss Spinks comes back, we're going to see what you've discovered about being a positive impact in your class. Okay?
Okay.
I got one okay. Do you have any questions about it for me or Miss Spinks? Right there. Miss Spinks? Not right now?
The lady with the black hair.
The lady with long black hair. Right there, waving at you with both hands in her hoodie.
Right there.
Okay? Okay.